I would define a good life as a life full of travel and spending time with good people and people that you love the most in the world. My internal struggles changed the way I thought about a good life because it made me appreciate the little things more, like traveling with my sister and spending time with my friends and family that I used to take for granted. I definitely do not think the good life is the same for everyone because everyone has different things that they value. Like, for example, I value traveling, other people value sports or different people in their lives. Like, I really value my close family, but some people value friends more. It just depends on who you are. I think being around good people that give you good vibes and make you happy when you're around them, it definitely impacts my view of a good life. Because I know people have done me wrong and betrayed my trust, which just makes me value other people that make me happy even more. I don't let people affect the way I view the good life because I stick up for what I believe in no matter what. If I ever deal with people with conflicting interests as me, I always make sure to explain my situation, my side completely before I make up my mind, and I always let them explain their side just in case they can persuade me otherwise. But other than that, I don't let it affect the way I view a good life because I know everyone's different. I've had a great progression with my good life. For example, I've traveled the world. I've been to Ireland, Scotland, Italy, Amsterdam, and I've absolutely loved it. And I've done it with my sister, who's someone that I absolutely adore. I definitely want to keep going though and keep traveling the world, and I think that's something I want to do with my life. So
something for myself, it's about my decision about making my life happy, or maybe I can put myself enjoy with somebody else. So it depends on my decision. So every person will be different about good life because they have their own perspectives. A good life it depends on ourselves. How we make our life is what we're gonna make it. In my personality, good life is different every person because they have a target. Maybe some people want to be rich, some people just want to be popular or having a lot of followers on Instagram or Facebook or something like that. But yeah, it depends how each person look at it. So what is your motivation about your life? It will make you make your good life different, and you're gonna be happy if you have goals. I mean, you reach your goals, and because our target is different, so our goal is different, so the standard of good life is going to be different for each people. For me, I'm going to make myself happy. After I make myself happy, enjoying something of my life, they will give influence to the other, and it will make a effect. I have a question. I have an example. Before, I had a friend that he's so depressed. He was so really hopeless, and he's gonna do suicide. But when I tried to take him come on, you have to enjoy the life. We went to somewhere else, just sit down and enjoy everything with story, with anything, and for slowly, step by step, he changed. Because the most important is about yourself. So if you do yourself, enjoy your life, it will give influence to everyone. I believe that there are a lot of people who don't like how we live. It's a fact, and it's reality. For example, I chit and chat with somebody on Facebook just for joking, but some people say that, what the hell are you doing? Your joke is not funny at all. But I try to push myself. Okay, if he or she doesn't like me, I'll try to correct myself. What happened? Maybe I choose the wrong words. I choose the wrong topic about joking, and I'm gonna still learning about to make a better a conversation, a joke. But I don't want to make myself to be intimidated because man, he doesn't like me, so what should I do? What should I do now? I have to learn about. Okay, he doesn't like me, so I have to learn. So his characteristic is like this. So I try to understand him. Okay, so I try to skip talking about maybe about parents because maybe he lost his parents. So I don't want to make a joke about it. I try to talk about the other one, but the most important, I have to stay calm and stay think about what I'm gonna say or talk everybody. So depending on my past, I learn about to be happy for myself will effect of people around me. So that's a good thing for my future because when I try to make people happy with my life, they will stay together with me. They will know me, and it's gonna be like, oh, one day I'm gonna make a restaurant, and they will look at me. Oh, this guy is good guy. This guy is interesting guy. So when he open a restaurant, wow, his workers gonna be good. His workers gonna be happy. So I'll try to go over there. Or maybe if one day I'll do like something, there will be a lot of people will come and wow, see, I realize that a happy person will make his surrounding happy. So I hope I can give like inspiration to them to do the same thing like me. So I try to. I hope I can be a good example for everybody else to do what I do. So their life will give impact for the other one. Like that.
I think a good life is being successful at whatever it is that you do or you want to do. Not based off anybody else's standards, like just being great at what you do. So my internal experiences changed my view of a good life because I think I used to think a good life was based on like other people or family or like, you know what I mean, like love and stuff like that. But now it's, I don't know, I feel like it's more about the person. Like me, things I've been through made me not really feel like I need family to be happy or successful or, you know what I mean, have a good life. People made me realize that I don't need people to have a good life. I mean, that sounds kind of crazy, like obviously you need somebody, but like I'm not one of them people who feel like I need a huge family and we gotta be around each other all the time for me to be happy. I'm good with my immediate family. I'm perfectly fine with that. No, I don't think so, because I basically pride myself on like being my own person. I don't really change for people or people's interests or opinions. I think earlier on in life I was more focused on like family and friends and happiness within that as far as what my good life was, and then now it's more like success and happiness with not so much family but like life family, people who are family through life, not blood.
How would I define a good life? That's like a loaded question. I probably define a good life as being able to support myself and support a family. You know, I do think money is a necessity in order to live properly. But I've actually found that just being content has come from being content with what I have, and that makes me happy, and that makes me feel like I have a good life. But also to not settle. You know, I can be content with what I have and want more. I think it's the not being content and wanting more that shoots for unhappiness. I don't think a good life's the same for everybody because everybody has different ideals. You know, everybody has different morals, everyone has different understandings of, you know, what they think they should be or what life expects out of them, you know? So I believe if somebody expects, you know, if somebody thinks being rich is going to make them happy and that's the key to a good life, okay, but there are plenty of people who are happy, you know, working I don't even want to say desk job, happy working in a corner store, and you walk in and they're smiling and they're happy just because they have their family and they're surviving. Yeah, there have been a lot of internal struggles. Let's see. Divorced parents from a young age. I know a lot of people have divorced parents, but I specifically, went back and forth between both of them every other day. So Mondays and Thursdays is with my dad, Tuesdays and Wednesdays with my mom, and it switched off every other weekend. So having my own place, and I'm gonna wait for this truck to pass by. So that formed my opinion on how much stability really enhances the good life. I've traveled, and traveling was great, but for me to have a grounded life, I needed to learn to be stable, and it was really hard actually to be stable because I was so used to moving around that I actually struggled being stable, especially after I got married. We went through some tough times because it reached a point where I was like ready to move, but having my wife at grounded, we were able to push through that. I also was addicted to drugs, and I had to go to rehab when I was about 20 years old. And that, the drug experience and the rehab really, I guess, shaped my opinion on, it brought me to such a low place that any place above that was better. I was probably 150 pounds, pale, and being able to look back on that, it shaped me into really understanding that life is worth living, and it made me ask questions of why am I doing this to myself. And I had to seek help. I had to, I went to AA and NA meetings. I got therapy, because, those dark places, it's easy to stay in them because the comfortability of being uncomfortable becomes such a norm that actually getting out of that is difficult because being comfortable is not normal for me. So it took me actually a while to be able to learn how to function and be happy without the use of drugs. Actually, my view on God, I grew up being told there was a God, grew up somewhat religious within the Jewish faith, but I never really embraced it. And then I moved to Israel, and I started talking to people about God and talking to religious people, and these people studied God like he was a topic. They never really told me, you just have to have faith. When people told me you just had to have faith, I was like, you just had to believe. I was like, I'm not going to bring my car into a mechanic and he's going to tell me it's going to run fine. And if I ask him, well, what was wrong with it? Why is it going to run fine now? And he just says, have faith. I'm not going to drive the car, So when I would ask questions to these rabbis, and they had answers that actually made logical sense, and they didn't just blow me off with the "you just have to have faith," response, or just believe. They didn't call me a sinner for not believing at the time. And they didn't force me to. They didn't push it on me. They even told me it was all up to me to follow through with it if I wanted to. But they really encouraged for me to ask questions, and through those questions, my faith in God got stronger, and how I lived my life religiously changed due to that fact. I would say I live a pretty good life. My wife and I, right now with me in school full time, we still live paycheck to paycheck, but I have a wife. I have somebody who loves me, like, unconditionally. We have a roof over our heads. We can feed ourselves. We have ups and downs, my parents, wherever, like, no matter where they are in their lives, you know, I know that they always love me. And, you know, I know it sounds cliche, but I feel blessed. And there are a lot of times where, like, I wake up like everybody else and I'm like, I don't feel it. But at the end of the day, if I really look at it, I have people who care about me. I have a roof. I work, you know. I work hard, and, you know, I'm really lucky to be where I'm at. I would have gone to college and graduated younger. I'm 29 years old and I'm just finishing up my bachelor's, you know. I really have had an adventurous life. Like, I went to 2 years of community college, and then I toured with a band, and I traveled. But once I stayed put, whether it be in Israel or here in America, I was not satisfied living on a job that, you know, was mundane. You know, I was working in a restaurant for 18 months, and, you know, no offense to anybody in a restaurant, but it didn't work for me. I didn't like the hours. I didn't like what I was doing. And through that experience, I realized that without a college degree, there were limitations to what I could do. And I am somebody who does not like having limitations on me. And I felt that the best way to start to move my life forward was to go back to college. So at age 28, I, you know, applied to Temple and, you know, got in. My wife was very supportive. My wife's actually supporting us right now. And that's what I would have done differently. I would have graduated college earlier, because I feel like I would be farther ahead than I am now. I would love to be able to be a screenwriter and sell scripts. To have the ability to be able to have enough money so my wife wouldn't have to work if she didn't want to. You know, that we could take vacations when we wanted to. But I really don't know where I've lived long enough to know I never know where life is going to take me. I never thought that I would be in school again. I never thought that I would have moved to Israel and found somebody that I was going to get married to, you know? Their life, I've realized, is just so unpredictable that I can hope to want to be somewhere in 10 years, and choices and things that happen in my life change that trajectory, and, you know, roll with it. You know, I just gotta roll with it. So where I'm gonna end up, I really don't know, but I hope that I can be in the field of screenwriting, editing, that I'm aiming for right now.
I define a good life by being raised in a large family and watching my siblings marry and go off. Then I get the pleasure of having helped raise 3 beautiful, constructive grandchildren. They've made me very proud as they have taken their life and developed into wonderful men and women. I don't really think the good life is the same for everyone. It depends on your environment and how you were raised. Any further? Unfortunately, I don't think it's good for everyone. It depends on your environment, and how your parents were raised is the way they will raise you. So you just get detached from your environment if it's not a good one. So I don't think it's good for everyone. Circumstances change your view of life, especially when you lose loved ones that have nurtured you. It changes you in a way that you can either be very positive or very negative. So I think it definitely has to change. I would change the way I felt when I stood by my mother, and she passed away suffering from Alzheimer's for 20 years. It changed my view of life and brought me closer to my family. It made me realize how important family life was. Based on my past experiences, I look forward to seeing my grandchildren take their place in society, reach their goals, and learn to do for others, and develop into good leadership and good, solid citizens. That would be the happiest moment of my life to see.